Yeah. What was Megan Fox doing in Tesco, Levenshulme? I suppose you took her for a drink after. Nearly broke her back. Are we even having this conversation, Steve? Boyakasha! Kev Ashford for the United stand. It's Van Cam time. This week we've played Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Convincing result. We've done the job. I suppose the only one thing to comment on, Damian's performance was good. Probably the attendance. If that's not a clear sign that supporters are growing tired of this philosophy shite, then I don't know what is. Because for me, it was a glorious day. It was probably the hottest day of the year so far. So we can't be City fans and start going on about, oh, the weather was bad, didn't fancy it tonight. United fans didn't turn up, and it was quite noticeable. And I think it's purely to do with Van Gaal, the style of football. And people are just not prepared to go out of the way to go to Old Trafford on a Wednesday night. They've obviously thought, why? 1-0, we'll win 1-0 maybe, and it's crap to watch. Go and get entertained somewhere else. Probably more entertainment going down and doing your weekly shop or something at Tesco. People obviously decided against going to Old Trafford on Wednesday. I don't think it's some kind of protest, but I think they're certainly making a point by the amount of supporters who didn't turn up. I don't buy into that people are looking ahead to Saturday in the FA Cup, they're saving the money and that. These are season ticket holders, people that have already paid for it and have not turned up. But we've got the result, keeps us in the pack for the top four finish. I think the thing that's starting to get me is we really need to be looking at getting third place. And people might laugh and say, oh, you're asking a bit too much there, but I've got this horrible feeling. We get top four, right? We finish fourth. I'm not saying we're going to start celebrating and get the open bus out like the Arsenal supporters and celebrate finishing fourth. But if Liverpool win the Europa League, and the Europa League isn't played till after the Premier League has finished, we could finish fourth and think we've secured Champions League. If they win the Europa League, we drop out of it and they go into it. Frightening thought. Imagine it come down to that, having to watch a final knowing that if they win it, we're not in the Champions League next season, and them dirty bin dipping rats will get through into the Champions League after being shite for half a season. Suppose we've not been much better, have we? Weekend semi-final. Wembley. We're the famous Man United. We're going to Wembley. I'm not personally. The wife booked a weekend to Ireland. Got a Holy Communion to go to. You can tell I'm well impressed by that. There's been a slight debate about it, but I don't want to rock the boat, so I'm going to Ireland, so I'll watch it over there anyway. Yeah, should be a good one, this, especially Everton getting dipped big time at Anfield, so they're not really going into it in much confidence. They're all Martinez out. The majority of us have LVG out, so it should make for an interesting kind of game. A lot of Everton players that are really not turning up at the minute. I just hope they don't on Saturday and put in a performance. Damian's goal against Crystal Palace. Boom! What a finish. He's got to be in contention for a start. I think the team more or less picks itself. All the players that are playing are in that team. Love to see Herrera in. I think at the start of the season when we beat Everton 3-0 at Goodison, he was instrumental. Pulled all the strings in the midfield. I think we need that. I know Van Gaal's not going to agree with that. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one because there's going to be 30-odd thousand fans apiece in the stadium, and it's a one-off game. It's a semi-final, and anything can happen. But how can we not be confident? Put a little bit of a run together, playing all right, creating chances. 2 goals against Crystal Palace, 10 shots on goal. living the dream, aren't we? Van Gaal, you are really spoiling us. Like I've said before, he's not going to be there at the end of the season. And if I can just touch on comments he's made this week regarding Tottenham, he said, we're not that far behind Tottenham. There's not that much of a difference between us and them, which is quite true. Because they've been brilliant this season, scoring freely, attacking football, they can defend as well. And we've been more or less the opposite. We can defend, but as an attacking force, we've just not done it. Tottenham have entertained. You don't mind watching Tottenham because they play good football. Good players, good attacking force. On the other hand, Louis van Gaal, what are you on about, mate? This just proves how deluded this knob jockey is, because that's what he is. He's an absolute clown. And then in the week, they ask him about the empty seats, Crystal Palace, and he says, you lot see what you want to see, as if, you know, it's been made up. There was loads of pictures you could see on the telly, so don't give me that shit, mate. As if people are making it up now, that it was, you know, it was noticeable there was a few empty seats. Oh, you only see what you want to see, you lot. Face it, mate. You're out at the end of the season. I just hope you go out on a high. You get us into the top 4 and win that FA Cup. Go and retire then. Let somebody decent come in who can entertain us, as Robbie Williams once said. That was a bad joke, that. Anyway, I'm digging off as usual. Semi-final, Everton, Wembley. We want to make it through to the final, don't we? Because I think whoever wins this is going to be favourites. And we'd certainly fancy our chances again against Palace or even Watford in the final if we can make it through. Cannot wait for the match. Want to see passion. Want to see the right team picked. Let's go out there, put in a performance for the Red Army, who will be following the Reds, being full voice, singing them along. The supporters deserve it. We all deserve this. It's been a good cup run. We don't want it to end at Wembley against Everton. That's how it ended last time in the semi-final. I was at it. Phil Neville scored the winning penalty. That tells you all you need to know. Ooh, as always, anyway. Come on, United!